going on, guys? Welcome back to the show. You've tapped into another episode of the Social Club where everybody's got a voice. I'm your host, Serg, and today we're going to be getting into one of the NFL's most heated debates, probably as of current. Who exactly is leading the MVP race right now? It's week 7, and between injuries, upsets, surprise breakouts, this MVP race is looking a lot different than any of us expected it to when we kicked off the season. We got Joe Burrow out another season, Lamar Jackson gearing up for his return, Josh Allen dropping a loss to the Falcons after a loss to the Patriots the week prior, and Patrick Mahomes heating up again after knocking off one of the NFC's top offenses. I think it's safe to say that this year's MVP race is following the trend of the NFL entirely, where it's really just anybody's year. In fact, this is the most I think I've seen it be anybody's year in, I don't know, an eternity.
It's anybody's race now, Tom.
It's crazy to think that this is the first time since 2014 that no NFL team entered week 6 being undefeated. But you know the deal, guys. We gotta keep the lights on around here somehow, so go ahead and jam that subscribe button down below. Make sure you follow us on all social media platforms. That is Facebook, that's Instagram, obviously YouTube, soon to be X. With us bringing that page to life, you'll be able to interact with us in real time during real-time events. So let the trash talking weekends begin. We've actually got some very exciting news to share with you guys that you helped us get to quite the significant benchmark, so stay tuned for an update on that as well. But with all that said, let's dive right in. Now, before we break down my top 5 candidates, let's set the stage for exactly what contributes to who I believe is in the NFL MVP race as of current. Team success matters. QBs on stronger teams automatically get a little bit more credibility when it comes to the MVP race. A 5-1 record or even a 4-2 record has a lot more weight to it than a 500 team with, close wins or narrow losses in that mix. Following that, health and availability are huge. We've got Joe Burrow out another season in the NFL. Obviously, that takes him far out of the race. We got Lamar Jackson gearing up for his return, but his team's struggles aren't exactly helping his case as of now. On the other hand, having a healthy supporting cast matters a lot too. Weapons, offensive line, even having defensive stability can really help make or break a QB's MVP case. Herbert's additions in LA, for example, have given him a ton of upside. Meanwhile, the Bills have had some defensive and injury challenges to get through that have really altered Josh Allen's production so far. Now, the last piece I want to mention, signature moments shift perception. Big wins and clean, high-stake performances can boost a candidate's argument dramatically. Patrick Mahomes, great example, that went over the Lions last week, who are considered to be the highest scoring offense in the NFC, boosts his case incredibly. Meanwhile, we've got Josh Allen having a couple of bad losses to some teams he probably shouldn't have lost to, make his argument for MVP a little bit trickier to shape. But with all that in mind, let's go ahead and hit the field. Still holding that top spot, even after a few hiccups, is, lo and behold, Josh Allen. Now, it's no secret, Josh Allen's stats are well within MVP caliber: 1,200 passing yards, 9 touchdowns, just 2 picks, and plus another 200 yards on the ground with quite a handful of rushing touchdowns under his belt too. He's completing about 70% of his passes, averaging about 8 yards per attempt, and he's dominating the middle of the field where most QBs tend to struggle. Now, that's a pinch of the good stuff. Here's where it gets a little bit tricky. The Bills just dropped a frustrating one to the Falcons. The turnovers and defensive collapses are starting to drag the team narrative down. It doesn't help that MVP voters want both consistency and signature wins, and right now, Buffalo's had a tough couple of weeks. Let's not forget this burst their second loss in back-to-back weeks, following where Drake May and company put up a hell of a fight to get a win over the Bills at home. Now still, this is Josh Allen we're talking about. If he can clean up those sloppy losses and string together some more dominant wins in primetime television, his dual threat versatility keeps him front and center in the MVP race this season so far. Sliding in at number 2, nonetheless, my guy Patrick Mahomes is back in business. He's been nothing short of spectacular, even with the Chiefs kicking off this season at 3-3. In week 6, Patrick Mahomes dominated the Lions defense, completing 22 of 30 for 257 in the air, 3 touchdowns, even tried to win it on the ground himself, and he earned himself a 132.2 passer rating. Put that through 6 games, Mahomes now has 1,514 passing yards, 11 touchdowns, and just 2 picks. Now, we're not going to talk about the QBR rating at a 76.1, there's room to grow there. Now, even considering that terrible Week 5 loss to Jacksonville, Mahomes still went out there and showed out. 318 yards and a touchdown, adding 60 rushing yards and a rushing touchdown himself as well, nearly 380 yards of total offense out of the kid. He even led a late game 86-yard drive that almost swung the game in our favor, but it's safe to say that even in losses, his efficiency under pressure and his big playability keep him very much in the MVP conversation. Now at 3-3, don't get me wrong, the Chiefs, we still got a lot of work to do. We got to build on this momentum. It's not often that an MVP comes from a 500 team, but that Lions win just might be the turning point. If Mahomes gets KC rolling again and keeps putting together highlight reel drives, then he'll jump right back into pole position. And there's no question that Rashee Rice's return this week is going to have a rather large influence on how both the Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes' seasons turn out. Okay, now we got the big names out of the way, the few names you were probably already expecting to hear, especially coming from me. Let's talk about the dark horse that no one really saw coming.
You still suck!
Baker Mayfield. Tampa Bay is 5-1. And they're the #1 team in the NFC, tied for the #1 team in the NFL entirely, and Baker Mayfield's been the heartbeat of that offense. In Week 5, the kid was nearly perfect. I mean, he threw 29 of 33 completions, 379 yards, and 2 touchdowns. All that to get a passer rating of just about 135.2. That's insane. He's had multiple clutch comebacks this season, and he's showing poise we just haven't seen from him before. Where I'm from, we call him playing lights out ball. Now, if he keeps this up, he's not just a feel-good story. He's a legitimate MVP candidate. His efficiency and his leadership elevate Tampa Bay's offense marginally, and if he can maintain this pace against tougher defenses, I don't see how he couldn't challenge some of the front runners in the MVP race when it comes to be the end of the season. Now, the real question as to if Baker can pull it off or not is sustainability. Tampa Bay's had a softer schedule in the earlier half of the season, and it's not rocket science to know that defenses are going to start planning for him a bit more aggressively. He's already had his entire wide receiver room injured at some point or currently injured, so it's a matter of if those guys can get back on the field and help him win these games. But if they do, and Baker Mayfield can keep leading these game-winning drives, coming in clutch with these Tampa Bay wins, he'll stay firmly in this conversation until it's all said and done. Now here we are at #4, and I have to admit, this pains me to say it. If I'm going off the stats, I'm going off what I'm seeing this season, I've got to give it to Justin Herbert. Garth, I don't want to hear it from you right now. I'm just calling it for what it is. Herbert's season hasn't been all that flashy, but it's been quietly surgical. He's sitting around 1,500 yards, 10 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. He's doing it though with great efficiency, especially in that intermediate range. He's protecting the ball better than before, he's extending plays better than before, and he's showing why the Chargers invested so heavily in him. Now, it's taken quite some time to see the result, but we can't act like we're not watching it modern day. Justin Herbert's playing damn good football. Even when the Chargers defense is struggling, Herbert's keeping drives alive, he's minimizing his turnovers, and he's maximizing that offensive output. Now, LA is tied for first in the AFC West right now, and that's key. Remember, team success matters in the MVP voting. If he can string together a few more statement wins, especially against top defenses, he could easily slide into that top 3 mix. If there's any advice I would give to Justin Herbert if he's gonna make this year his year, he's gotta capitalize on those wow moments, and those wow moments gotta be a lot more often. He can't let the defense or the coaching miscues stop him from winning some of his best games this season. But rest assured, I'm far from rooting for Justin Herbert. I'm just calling it for what it is. This is an unbiased take, an unbiased list even. I mean, I had Josh Allen at #1. I gotta give #4 to Justin Herbert. Now, rounding out the list at #5, I've hit on the big names already. I've hit on some of the dark horses that have been turning around their organization's success. But this one, we've got the young guys making some noise. I couldn't pick between the two of them, so I gotta give it to both of the guys, Drake May and Jordan Love. Let's start with Drake May. It has the Patriots looking surprisingly competitive, and he for himself, he's looking damn sharp doing it. He's thrown for 10 touchdowns with just 2 interceptions, posting an average 120 passer rating. He's showing incredible poise under pressure for a second-year QB and still improving his decision-making every week. Now, the concern with Drake May, obviously his experience in the league, and more so overall his team's overall performance. The Patriots still lack an elite offensive line. Aside from them picking up my guy from LSU last year, William Campbell, I see you making some noise out there, boy. You are definitely bringing them some promise. But their defense is still very hit or miss, and I feel like they're going to be the reason why he loses some games that he's played to win. And coming back to where we mentioned earlier, voters care about those significant wins. Voters care about that consistency. I don't know if that defense is going to be able to keep up with the offensive success, but hey, only time's going to be able to tell. Now for Jordan Love, behind the helm of the Packers, who are actually incredibly competitive this year. He is one of the most blitz quarterbacks in the league, and he's thriving under it. Against the blitz, he's completing 60+% of his passes, nearly 12 yards per attempt, 297 yards doing it, and he's got 3 touchdowns through the mix. The best part about it all, under that pressure, he's not thrown a single interception. Emphasis, that's just under pressure. On the season, he's at 1,259 yards, 9 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. That's efficiency that I know the cheeseheads are pretty giddy to see. Now, what's the downside? What's hurting Jordan Love's chances at being MVP? You'd think by the way I'm talking about the kid, I had him at number 1. I'll tell you, it's Green Bay's recent tie with Dallas, and furthermore, the nastier loss they took to the Cleveland Browns, who now sit 1-5. So then as of right now, today, October 18th, I'm giving you my top 5 candidates at NFL MVP, with number 1 at Josh Allen, number 2, my guy Patrick Mahomes, number 3, up-and-coming Baker Mayfield, number 4, Justin Herbert, and number 5, we got a split between Jordan Love and Drake May. And like I mentioned earlier, guys, it's wide open. This season's got nobody's claim to it. The injuries, primetime games, and the late season surges are really going to be what pull together this deciding factor. But that's my take on the MVP race through week 6. Who do you think is taking it home? Will we see another star rise, maybe a dark horse contender rise to the challenge, or are we going to see a household superstar add to their collection? Drop your predictions down in the comments, and don't you forget to hit that like, hit that subscribe, and ring that bell so you don't miss a pinch of any content coming your way. As the season keeps unraveling, we keep on giving you more. But with all that said, let's enjoy some football today. And remember, everybody's got to eat.